Peace, beloveds. So happy for you to join me on this Sensual Goddess course. I am welcoming you to become an Essential Goddess with Queen Goddess Hope. I know you're probably thinking like Shorty should have on some glam, makeup glam, and beautiful garments, but in reality, a goddess is one who is tapped into nature on another level. It's not all of this glamorous activities, because some of the greatest queens and warriors of our time were feminine entities or females with regular traditional garbs on of their time. So I am in my traditional garbs as opposed to being glammed up, because I want you to understand and overstand that being a goddess is not about what you look like on the outside, but truly what it is to be a goddess on the inside. I do not allow any impurities to enter my life, such as nicotine. I smoked a cigarette when I was 12 years old, and it was like one puff and I felt the glass in my throat, and I said never would I ever partake in this ridiculous mess. So I never did. I do like champagne, pinkies up all the time. And naturally, I feel like, as I'm aging, smoking was more of like a recreational habit to tap into my creativity. When I realized that there is a difference between ganja and marijuana, I decided that it was best for me not to take on what is now called marijuana, because I believe that it will be the new crack of 2023 and beyond. So what does it truly mean to be a sensual goddess? Well, for one, there are so many women or alpha feminines or women who are operating in a masculine energy that a lot of men don't really want to deal with them. They don't even want to date them because they feel like they don't know how to be submissive. And we really have to tackle into that word submissive or submission and how it actually breaks down in Galatians, if I'm not mistaken, like around Galatians 5 or something, how it talks about how a woman should be submissive or under a wife or under a husband, pause. And in reality, we're living in a patriarchal society, so naturally a woman is not supposed to have power or ruling or dominion over any man. So they feel like a woman being in power is obsolete. A woman should always be under the man instead of by his side or ruling a man. Little does he know, a man could be the head of the household, but a woman is the neck. She is definitely going to be the only one to allow him to move left and right, up and down. You're not going to be able to get as far as you can as a man in this patriarchal society without a woman by your side. That's why some of the greatest CEOs, some of the most prominent figures in history always had a wife by their side. Some of the great names of our time, again, all are married and had a wife by their side. There's only one person or one entity that is really tapping into that deep energy or giving their ideas life or growth without any of their own thoughts crashing and burning. It's always a woman or a female energy that is helping them 10x their dreams, ideas, and making them what it is today. So I really encourage you to do a couple of things. So when I started on this sensual journey back in 2017, I had started dating someone, but it was really not in that sense of trying to understand what it was like to be a wife. I had recently came out of an engagement, and I really wanted to understand what it was supposed to be from an individual standpoint, loving myself, finding intimacy within myself, loving myself deeper than any man could ever love me. And that started with my fears, tapping into my fears, allowing me to really face these fears head on, because some of the most fearless individuals are women. As I mentioned, like A Woman King recently was on Netflix, and many of us were privy to watching this in the movie theater. Forgive the noise, I'm in the front of the house. And many of us were privy to watching this in the movie theaters, and a lot of these women were warriors that were defending entire kingdoms and entire dynasties. And when I decided to take on that warrior entity, that warrior spirit, I decided to just face my fears head on. And when I decided to start facing my fears, I realized that I could now become anything that I wanted and do anything that I wanted. So my suggestion is writing down all of the things that you feared. One of the stories of my childhood is us being at Virginia Beach on a family vacation down in Sandbridge, Virginia, and us being on the beach and me running and doing somersaults from a bee. Thankfully, I wasn't stung that day, but the shit show that I put on was just, unbeknownst to me, the most comedy that I've ever done. You know, now I'm naturally sarcastic and funny, but it's just so funny to me because now I just let these things walk over my body and land on my towels or land on my legs and just walk all over me, any type of insect. Because when you become one with nature, or when you become one with self in nature, you just appreciate the circle of life for what it is. You know, I walk around and I see ants dominating a lot of these people and structures, and I'm like, you know, they will bite you, they will walk all over you. If you see a red ant, people are like, they're attack animals. There's carpenter ants. There's so many different types of ants. They build the biggest houses I've ever seen in my life, and they start off from the wildest structures. Like today, the dog, you know, was wagging her tail all over the the anthill, and a whole bunch of ants just flew out, and the first thing they did was protect their eggs. You know, so it's like when I'm walking on their territory, the grass, you know, I'm like, dang, I might be messing up a couple people's houses right now. But at the same time, because we are one with nature, they also have to appreciate what I am trying to do as far as grounding and becoming one with nature. Okay, so real quick, you hear this plane because it's an old airplane, but I heard a plane earlier today, but I couldn't see it. So now I'm like, all right, if y'all gonna be flying planes over my house, y'all gotta stop being stealthy. That shit is mad suspect. But conspiracy theorists here, hey. And just being one with nature really allows you to appreciate any type of animal, and you realize that there is a such thing called spirit animals, and how they come into your life to bring you blessings or messages from other realms. So, you know, I'm sitting on the porch with Marble recently, and like a couple minutes ago, and I gave her a carrot because, you know, I feel like dogs can use that as bones and teething and things of that nature. So I gave her the carrot, and a butterfly gets stuck up in the porch, and you can hear its wings flapping on the ceiling, and it was black. So I'm like, wow, okay, so I'm gonna go look up what a black butterfly is, because I'm paying attention to my dog, and it had to let me know of its presence. Do you understand? So I feel like there was a message in that I don't know what it is yet because I haven't looked it up. But one of my favorite things to look up on your favorite search engine is, what is the spiritual meaning of this? You know, whether if I have dreams, or, you know, if I have random observances. You know, when I first came back to the country, I had a red robin fly across my path. And I was like, dang, you know, it feels good to be back in the country, but also what was the significance of that message, you know? So trying to understand the significance of the message is really, really important. So, Marble Joy, go over there then. Go. Stop being scared. So trying to understand, you know, like what it really means to be one with the universe and one with nature in itself is just me trying to take on that goddess, supreme goddess, sun goddess glow energy. Because without you thriving in your ultimate feminine, sacred, sensual energy, no man is really going to want you in that capacity. No man wants to see his woman lead out of malicious or anger or malice or anger or disruptiveness. Like, they want their woman to be pleasant and nurturing, because there's no way that a man is going to respect you from a masculine standpoint if you're masculine all the time toward him. Another man receiving conflicting energy with another man is going to result in chaos or a fight or something, toxic in that way. So if you're a woman and an avatar, and if you're coming off as a masculine, naturally he's going to combat you in that same type of energy. But the best way to kill anything is with kindness and sensuality. You can get anything with your want with your portal. Anything in the world. That's all you have to do. Listen, baby, it's time to get creative. Use your portal for good. And it's true that you can really truly get what you want with it. The fact is that your energy has to be sacred, and you have to be able to tap into that portal in such a way that it exudes out of you naturally in other ways. It doesn't always have to be led with your yoni, do you know? So I really wanted to welcome you to this course and really show you ways and things that you can do to tap into your feminine energy. So I included a PDF here that you can look at. Also, the importance of me tapping into my sacred divine feminine energy was through meditation. Just being able to sit still with myself is a form of self-care. You have to take advantage of self-care. If you're not taking advantage of self-care, then you're not tapping into your divine feminine energy at all. You cannot work for somebody for 8 to 10 to 12 to 15 hours a day oftentimes and not give yourself that same type of power or that same type of energy. It's just not humane, if you will. That's why men were always the ones to go out in the workforce and women were the ones to stay at home, because our divine feminine energy is chaotic, and naturally we just want to roam and walk all over the earth and do what we're supposed to do. We are here, we are there, we're doing all this stuff. We are the multitaskers for a reason. When you are nature, you got the wind blowing like we hear. You got the trees blowing.